Not pretend this will be painless.
Oh, God.
There could be impact on our energy prices. So we are taking active steps to alleviate the pressure on our own energy markets.
And because of that, he's thinking about possibly suspending the gas tax and other things. But do we need another war right now?
Yeah,
Do
we really need
involved?
another war, especially the Ukraine.
Yes. And joining us for more on this and other topics of the day is our very good friend, Stephen Moore. He joins us on our turnkey.pro answer line. Good morning, Stephen Moore. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Well, I was kind of laughing when Joe Biden said, we're doing everything we can to promote American energy. Oh, right, Joe. Yeah, in fact, for your first year in office, all you've done is tried to destroy American energy with
Right.
Canceling the Keystone XL pipeline and then canceling the leases, taking Alaska offline, and all these environmental regulations that are making it really difficult to produce our oil and gas and coal. And then, of course, the this climate change agenda, which is designed to basically eliminate oil and gas and coal, which we get 70% of our energy from those sources. So, I mean, come on. The fact is that the climate change fanatics in the Biden administration, which starts with Joe Biden himself, they've made it very clear they want to eliminate all oil and gas and coal over the next 25 years in the United States. Well, if you want to eliminate it, a good way to do it is to raise its price so nobody can afford it. And that's where we are today. But this idea that we're going to draw more oil from the strategic reserve, or we're going to suspend the gas tax. I mean, come on, those are Band-Aids. That's not going to do anything to reduce the price of oil internationally. It's now selling at $95 a barrel.
Ooh.
That's the equivalent, I hate to tell you, when that hits the gas pump. We're talking about, what are you guys paying now?
Well, the average in
Illinois.
the average in northern Illinois is $3.97 a gallon. But if
So
you go
we're
downtown,
looking at
you're looking
probably
closer to $5.
Yeah. Where?
Downtown
Chicago?
Chicago. Yep.
Wow. Hi. So, this hike in the oil price probably means another 40 to 50 cents, a gallon. So this is an energy crisis. Doesn't it seem every day like it's the 1970s all over again?
Yeah, absolutely. What was it when Biden took office? It's $95 a barrel now. What was it when?
It was about 60. And the other thing is, here's an amazing statistic. January 2021, when Trump left office, take a guess what the inflation rate was in the month that Trump left office.
4%? I'm bad with numbers.
1.6%.
Really bad with numbers? Sorry. 1.6.
No, I mean, most people, Amy, when I ask most people that, they say 3 to 4%.
Yeah.
No, it was 1.6%. And think about that. We've gone from 1.6% inflation in 1 year to 8%. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible that you can be that economically incompetent, but that's this administration, because everything they are doing is raising prices, whether it's the war on producing energy here at home, or it's the massive government spending, the trillions and trillions of dollars of borrowing and spending and printing of money. Gee, that's gonna cause inflation. I mean, it's as plain as the nose on your face. And here's really funny headline from the Washington Post this morning. Can't make this up. The Washington Post says this morning, inflation is hurting low-income people the most. Oh, gee.
Well, gee, you're just
that revelation. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Who would have ever thought that? It turns out that the poor pay more of their disposable income goes to paying for food and energy than rich people.
Well,
Right.
the average person is paying.
How many times have I said that on your show, Amy, over the last 6 months?
1,000
100
times. Yes.
Well, that's only matched. That's only matched by their headline 2 weeks ago when they said, when they basically talked about the destructive impact that COVID has had on student learning. Oh, you think?
Exactly.
Really? What a
brain trust.
They had an epiphany. That matches our
exactly. It's one of those eureka moments. Who would have thought it? But it is a very sad state of affairs. And the thing is, this is an unforced error. It's not as if this was some kind of hurricane or earthquake or something. It is policy decisions by this administration to strangle our oil and gas industry, to force people to use windmills and solar power. And that's just not going to get the job done. We're not going to be able to power a $22 trillion economy with windmills. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So why wouldn't we use American energy rather than right now? Did you know that we're actually importing natural gas
Right.
and oil from Russia?
Right. I was just going to say,
stupid.
tell me if I'm wrong. Our energy policy, in which we have overnight gone from an energy exporter to an energy importer again, strengthens Russia.
Of course it does.
And our massive deficit strengthens China because who buys the debt? Who invests in U.S. Treasury bonds? Who's the largest holder of U.S. Treasury bonds? China.
Yeah.
So all we're doing is emboldening and strengthening our so-called chief adversaries. Is that a correct observation to make?
Are you saying that Joe Biden is not putting America first?
No, he's not.
I mean, that's the thing about Trump, whether you agreed with them or
Right.
not. And I was in the Oval Office many times with Donald Trump, and there were times when I would strongly disagree with the decision he made. And most of the times I would agree with him, but sometimes I'd strongly. But I always felt like he was thinking, is this going to help American companies and American workers or hurt them? I'm not so sure Joe Biden really thinks that way. I mean, why would you cancel? Why would you not build a pipeline that goes from North Dakota down to Houston, but you are going to allow a pipeline that goes from Russia to Germany?
Mhm.
Does that make any sense?
Right. That's true. And you know how bad it is here, Stephen Moore? I thought of you. The dollar store is now the $1.25 store.
$1.25 now.
But they should change the name on there. In Utah, it's still the dollar store, and I did some damage there. But yeah, it's the $1.25 store. So people keep asking, when do you think prices are going to begin to lower? Or are we not even at the peak yet?
No. I mean, look, when the producer prices go up because they rose by 10% last month, guess what happens to consumer prices? They go up because if the people make the stuff are paying more to make it, and then it costs more to get to the grocery stores or to the hardware stores or to the other stores that you buy stuff at, then the prices are going to go up. So I do not think we've hit peak inflation yet, but we're getting 10%. I never thought I would see the day when we would be that high. And you're right. I love your point about, that it's no longer the dollar store. It's the $1.25 store. And I feel we usually, when my wife and I go to the grocery store, we got 3 kids who eat a lot. So we spend usually about $200, on our groceries.
Well, you got to feed those kids. I'm paying $300 to $400.
We're going to have to put them on a diet. But now we pay, when we go, we're paying $230, $240. Okay. And that's a lot.
Oh, I know. It adds up, especially if you're on a fixed income. It's too much.
No, I was going to say, I recall those hyperinflation years in the early 1980s when the inflation rate was like 13, 14%. I remember because my father, we were in the restaurant business, and of course, we couldn't change our menu prices fast enough. You remember during the early Carter years when OPEC was created and you had those huge, oil went from $1.75 a barrel to like $35 literally overnight. Yep. And so it's I never thought that we returned to that period of time, but you're beginning to see evidence that we're moving in that direction. That's a very dangerous thing.
Oh, you sound like a Republican. Are you okay? I'm just kidding.
I'm a
a realist. You're a pragmatist.
Yeah, I've always been a pragmatist on these issues.
Pragmatist. Well, I like that. So here's the point, and you bringing up OPEC. So when Trump left office, OPEC was basically had no power because we were producing so much oil and gas. You can't have a cartel if the number one producer of oil and gas isn't part of your cartel. And now we've forfeited that position, and that has empowered OPEC. And now we've got the president of the United States has to go hat in hand to he keeps saying, I go to the Saudis and I ask them to increase their oil.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus.
I don't want to be reliant on foreign oil.
This is like, oh, God. This is like the Carter administration, if you remember.
Exactly.
We're begging the Saudis.
Exactly. So real quick before we let you go, the standoff, the convoy in Canada, they're saying on the American side that because of the convoy, those little tiny car chips, the little that you can put in the mail or put in a box and mail to auto plants, that's the reason why auto plants are shutting down because of the trucking industry. And isn't it because of the car chips? Because we had 2 Ford plants out here that shut down temporarily because we don't have any card chips.
Yeah, but that predated.
Exactly.
Those problems predated the Freedom Convoy. And incidentally, I have complete solidarity with those truckers. I think it was an amazing thing. They were heard not just throughout Canada and North America, but throughout the world. It was an amazing thing, and I completely applaud them. I always applaud peaceful protests. Now, I don't think truckers have the right to block bridges, and I think the police did the right thing by saying, hey, you can protest, but you can't disrupt commerce, just like, Black Lives Matter shouldn't have been able to do that either. But I'm just so amazed at the left and the media that has sided with the Canadian government over these freedom fighters. These are blue collar workers, people who deliver our food and they act as if they should be in jail or something like this. I cannot understand how people could support the government over people who are trying to preserve our freedoms. And, I said that last week, I'll say it one last time. I believe that all of these lockdowns and shutdowns and the cancellation of school, all this stuff has been a tragedy of epic proportion. And, one other quick thing before we go. Have you guys seen the video on YouTube of the kids in Nevada?
Oh, yes, the third grade class when she says,
I love it.
you can take off your,
If
I
you
just got
haven't-
the chills. I love that video. And that little kid, the little snot-nosed little kid in the gray sweatshirt with the black mask, he is
It's
dancing,
awesome.
and it is the cutest flipping thing I've ever
It is
seen.
so great. So, folks, go to YouTube and
I tweeted it out.
put in something like kids celebrate. So that for those who haven't seen it, the teacher says, kids, there's about 50 of them, you're not going to have to wear a mask anymore.
And they freak out. It's so
they're
cute.
dancing in the aisles.
Well,
So
real quickly,
cute.
Stephen Moore, I don't know if you heard yesterday, the Democrats joined forces with Republicans and shut Pritzker down because he wanted 5 more months of mandated school masks. And they said
Yay!
no, so we won a little battle.
Yay!
Yay.
All right.
Small
There you go.
victories,
That's-
baby steps.
All right, Stephen Moore, noted economist and author of Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. Thank you so much, Stephen. We'll talk to you next
Okay,
week.
guys, have a great week. Take
You
care.
too. Bye. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560. The Answer.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Melissa, and I bought my first home with Townstone Financial. It was a lot of personal attention. I felt like I was very comfortable. All of my questions were answered. It was a very personal, and Barry is very down to earth. He breaks it all down for the layperson who is not, usually a lender or knows anything about it. And really actually cared about me and how I understood the process. I felt that I could trust Barry and Townstone right away.
Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone.